when Mitch is dancing the way he is the last couple of games, what does that mean for the entire group?
It's fun to watch. I can tell you that. I think those guys are starting to hit their stride. And that's huge for our team. I think especially last night, watching those guys do what they did. It's a huge morale boost for the rest of the team. And we know we just got to do our jobs and make it a little bit easier for those guys. But at the same time, we know those guys are going to get those opportunities and they're going to cash in when they get them.
Talking about a morale boost, I know the guys have been saying we see Mitch make moves like that on his goal that he scored last night in practice, but to see him pull it off in a game,
that doesn't surprise me one bit. No. He probably does that 7 times a practice, right? So yeah. I can barely stick handle against some of these guys in practice. So to see him do that in a game is, it's unbelievable. But it's definitely not surprising at all.
You guys were dominating the North last year. Everyone said, well, would he go back to the Atlantic and have to face the Tampa Bays and the Bostons and that? You have those two teams coming up. How do you feel your team is ready for a challenge like that?
Yeah, I feel we're building. We're trying to get better each and every single day. So obviously we haven't had the start that we envisioned, but it's a long year and we're going to continue to build step by step, day by day. So I think we're in an all right spot right now. Would we like to be in a better spot? Yeah, but we still got a lot of hockey to play. And for us, it's like I said, one step at a time. We're going to continue to get better. We know we're going to build off of what we did last night and hopefully have. We got to start with Tampa first before we get to Boston, so we're just going to focus on that for now.
Teams are always looking to learn from the winners, the champs. Is there anything that stands out to you about what Tampa did the last couple seasons here?
I just think the way they play 4 lines, and they're relentless. They come at you wave after wave after wave after wave, and to be a good team in this league, to win Stanley Cups. Obviously, Tampa's won back-to-back cups, so they're the champs. So, I think that's something every team wishes to emulate, and we're no different than that.
Morgan was saying that the Kyle Beach situation has been a large topic of conversation amongst you guys. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think needs to change so that doesn't happen again?
First of all, I want to send my condolences, to Kyle Beach. Everything that happened was heartbreaking, and I found myself watching that interview, and I started to tear up a little bit. I think the thing that got me was when, they asked him, about the 16-year-old, and he apologized. And to me, he has nothing to apologize for. He was the one who was wronged. And, this is something that's systemic. I find in the NHL, when something happens bad, the guys are afraid to speak out because of repercussions. And, that's something that's definitely got to change. It's unacceptable. And, I think, within our dressing room, within, a lot of, I think, other teams' dressing rooms, now the culture is kind of starting to change and starting to roll over, considering the new blood, fresh blood that's coming into the league. So, we as players, I'm in lockstep with, what Robin Lehner said last night. More players got to speak up, more players got to do their part. We don't want this to continue to happen. As we go down the line here, we got to make it better, for the guys that are coming in, after us. It's not about us anymore. It's about what happens, to the young kids that are coming into the league now. And, everyone, I feel everyone must be held accountable, whether it's the NHL, the NHLPA. Everyone has to be held accountable. There's no excuses. And, this can't just be another fleeting moment where, it's here now and gone tomorrow.
So do you feel the younger guys are more open to the conversations when you say that you think there's a change happening?
I think everyone within locker rooms right now are open to this conversation. It's something that's incredibly saddening, and to see that happen, I know I was in the league back then, when that happened, and, it just rips my heart out to see what Kyle Beach has gone through and that he's had to sit, with that pain and, that anguish for the last 11 years. Not being able to speak his mind, speak his truth, and I think that's a shame.
What were the conversations like after the interviews aired, just in the team with you guys?
Obviously guys just asking each other, situations and, sorry guys. A conversation's kind of more centered around, like how unbelievable it was, and the fact that something, that actually got brought up, during time could get passed over by so many people. I think that's the biggest, crime, especially to Kyle Beach. That's something that should have, been handled immediately. Something like that is it's so, how do I say this? It's, you know, I don't really have words to like what I'm going through, what I'm processing through my mind. You know, it's unacceptable. I don't know, you know, if we can have, you know, an independent arbitrator or something like that, you know, that's outside of the league, to where, you know, players can speak up, so that, you know, it's just not in the hands, you know, of the teams of the NHL, so that there's an outside view, an outside scope, to where, you know, they're not thinking about, you know, whether, you know, who's getting punishment here, or who's going to, you know, get taken out of a GM spot or a coaching spot or something like that. Because, you know, when it comes to, you know, sexual assault and a lot of other matters in this league, you know, people shouldn't be afraid to speak up. People shouldn't be afraid, you know, to tell the truth, you know, without fear of repercussion.
Has it shaken your faith in the PA?
Quite frankly, yeah, it has.